What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into Neverlag for November and December. Are we still doing January about November and December? It's getting really muddled with the double month
26 about
situation here.
2025.
26 about that's spoilers, Calvin. That's yet to come. Oh, that's a great name for it, though. We will use that. We will be using that.
Just slowly degrade into double years. This is the
And then we miss
podcast
a
for
year, and we're like 28 about 26 and 27.
Sorry, guys. We're going to get these out a little quicker. Have
We're
a bunch
like
of content.
we're
right
like
before
noticeably
2030.
like a decade older. Oh Lord, no! This is just we haven't devolved that far yet. This is January about December and November, wrapping up the year 2025 that was, and all that we played in the last 2 months of games. So, welcome in, guys. It's good to see you, man. It's been I don't know about you guys. It's been a crazy end of the year, a couple months here. It feels like there's just been so much going on. So how's it been for you guys?
Yeah, same.
Chaotic.
It's been utter chaos. I haven't played a ton of video games, so we'll get to the little bit I've done, but it's good to be back in the chair despite all of the tribulations thrown at us through this holiday season.
Yes, the men in the chair. Calvin, long time no see.
Yeah. I mean, past couple months I didn't do a whole lot of gaming, but the gaming I did do was co-op, and it's always a good time when you find good co-op games. So
I know there's more and more good co-op happening. You love to see it.
Yeah.
So
makes you feel human again to play co-op.
connection.
And it just like we've talked about this, how like the online era of video games started, and couch co-op and co-op built games kind of took a backseat for probably about a decade. And I feel like we're finally coming back around in the last 2 to 3 years, where it's like, or I guess, when did It Takes Two come out? That really kicked things off. I feel like in
2019.
Yeah.
Was it 19?
No, that was like 2020. I think it was 21. I think that was
Yeah.
2021.
It was somewhere
Might
in
have
there.
been 2015. I don't know. But yeah, couch co-op, online co-op, these games that are built for two people and they don't function without two people, and they're coming back and they're fun. So we'll talk about them. My list, hold on. Okay.
That was
We can't have the
crisp.
episode without it.
Now we can begin. My
was
list is
nice
longer,
and
so I guess
Always
I'll
with
start
the longer
then.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
this is
I actually played through quite a bit in November and December. I had kind of like multiple games open and bouncing around, and in some smaller experiences. So I really should have put these in some sort of order. But to kick things off, I guess I just am curious, because we talked about Yote last time, but Calvin had finished and Zach and I had not. Zach, have you gotten any further in Yote?
sort of. I've
Really?
been playing
No,
it again.
not at all.
I actually started playing it again the other day, but I have not killed any more of the Yote 6 other than the guy you kill at the very beginning. I've been
They
exploring
still
the
live.
world. I got into the Ishikari Plain, or like one of the new areas. I did get to a new area in the game. So
Yeah.
spoilers. That's one of the two.
Well,
games
yeah,
I
shoot.
talked
I don't
about.
know then. The only thing I was going to mention there with Yote that was worth talking about was spoilers for the ending. So I guess we'll just skip that for now.
Here, I'll take my headphones off, and now you can go for it.
All right. Massive spoilers for the end
Go
of
ahead.
Yote. The Jubei death I thought was so pointless.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't like it. We're still talking about it.
Oh,
That's it. The end. Nothing more to say. I liked most of the story, but at the end I was like, oh dang. I didn't care for that. So I thought it was needless, and
Yeah.
that's the end. So
Yeah, it felt a little contrived to me. So.
yeah, there wasn't much point to it. It's just kind of like, oh, if it's gonna happen, at least let there be like a reason that feels like a good reason. And also, there was a different character that could have taken that place that I feel like would have been much better thematically.
Agreed.
Anyways, the vagueness of the spoilers are over, and we can move on from that.
Ruined everything, but that's fine.
Yeah. So we'll move on from there. I actually went back to a game that I started. So it's funny. I actually started this game years ago. I don't remember what year I played Psychonauts 2. But I played. What's funny is that I came back to it this time because now it's I think it was part of PS Plus or something. It was free on PlayStation if you have the subscription or whatever. And so I kind of had this hankering because I enjoyed what I played of Psychonauts 2 way back when, but I didn't finish the game and I couldn't remember exactly why or how far I got. Well, funnily enough, I after replaying the game, I found out that I made it like 70% of the way through the game because I kept thinking like, oh, this is probably about where I left off, and then I'd find a new area. I'm like, no, I remember this. No, I remember this, and that happened like 3/4 of the way through this entire game, which was a little frustrating. And I also the time that I played it previously, this point in the game at which I actually did stop was right before like a major reveal in the story. So, anyways, I ended up replaying Psychonauts, and that one kind of with Emily. She watched along, um, but really enjoyed that game actually. Like, what is that? Double Fine. Um, they're a weird studio, and I just feel like Psychonauts 2. I don't know. In a way, it kind of feels like it might be one of the last games we get of that type. Like, it just feels like a Ratchet and Clank mascot type, like big 3D action platformer with a robust story, And I just feel like we're not getting many of those like big scope AAA type of games anymore.
Which is a shame because I kind of love that
Yeah.
type of game.
So, I mean, I have some gripes with it. Some of the game felt a little long-winded. Like certain sections were like, all right, this might be dragging on a little too long. But then you'd go to a new area, and the whole premise of this game, like it's like it was. I wish I wrote everything down because it's an amalgamation of so many good things. Like there's some series of unfortunate events vibes. There's some Spy
Really?
Kids vibes. There's Persona. Like it's kind of a Persona theme and setting mixed with like Inception, where you're going into people's minds and altering their behavior or their thinking, or helping them overcome grief or just the various things. It's very symbolic like that. You're going into someone's mind. There's a literal representation of a world that you're entering, and you are fixing a problem or something like that. And it's just really cool because that lends itself towards a ton of creativity. The art style is very, it's kind of Tim Burton-y, but like less creepy and more imaginative. I don't know. Um, have you seen any of this gameplay, Calvin?
I don't think so.
Okay, you have to take a
But
look at it. But
you have me. You've piqued my interest with the combination of series of unfortunate events and Spy Kids.
yeah, it's and those are
Yeah,
that's a
it's a
really weird
interesting
that's a
mix.
really weird draw, right? But like these are some of the thoughts that I had while playing the game, and and then you add on top of that kind of just that PS2 era of like Sly Cooper vibes a little bit, or
Mm-hmm.
Ratchet and Clank we throw around a bit too much. This is not a shooter like that. It's much more of like a um, kind of a goofy platformer with some combat. But the abilities that you get are fun. Every new ability you get is really cool. The writing I thought is really good. There's a lot of really clever writing in this game, which the setting lends itself towards, because if when you're going into people's minds and you're trying to tackle these tough subjects like grief and loss and addiction or whatever in a more cartoony zany way, there's just a lot of room for wordplay, and um, they deliver. The writing really
Cool.
delivers in this game. The worlds all are really cool. The platforming and everything is snappy and fun to play. This is really just a like I wouldn't go so far. It's not a 10 out of 10, but it's like a 9 out of 10. And when we don't
Wow.
have many of these, it's a really good one of these. If you want a mascot type platformer game, this is
How, how
it's
long
just
are the
really good.
roughly?
It's pretty long. I believe I got the platinum on it, but I would say this is easily a 15-hour story, if not between 15 and 20,
That's not bad.
which
I
is
kind of
which is on the longer side for a type of game like this.
yeah.
So
I
Yeah.
kind of want to go play this right now. I didn't realize
it's
what
a lot of
Psychonauts
fun.
2 was. I've seen like the art style a little bit, and I've definitely heard of it multiple times. But hearing you describe it and like looking at a few clips right now,
It's got
I just
collectathon elements,
I love
kind of like a
3D
3D
platformers.
platformer. Yeah,
I love collectathons. I love that kind of PS2 era. I
It's good
mean,
stuff.
mild spoilers for our top 10 of the year, but like I played Tinykin and I just I love that
Mm,
feel that you sometimes get, and like you said, not many games pursue that right now, or at least not any larger ones that have a lot
yeah.
of attention on them. So
yeah,
It
that's cool.
definitely has. It definitely is. Has some similarities to a Tinykin type of thing. It has very good movement. You get this like orb. You have telekinetic powers. That's kind of the whole thing. Is you go to this like this place, the Psychonauts, where these people have kind of X-Men telekinetic powers, and they're all trying to destroy the forces of evil in the world or whatever. But there's a lot of kids involved. That's kind of where you get the Spy Kids vibe a little bit. But you have a telekinetic ball that you can summon and just like roll around and bounce around on this ball, and it feels really good. There's
Hmm.
some grind. There's some like Ratchet and Clank grinding in this game. There's a grapple hook. There's a grab, like think control, telekinetic grab and
Oh
throw
wow.
stuff. Um, so, and it's just again, it's just really imaginative. Double Fine are punching not above their weight because this is kind of what they've been doing. It almost makes me want to go back and play Psychonauts 1. Even though I'm worried old game old might be the vibe
Hmm.
there, but like,
mhm.
yeah, I was
What's
really
the
impressed with this game. So
what's the gap between the two games like when they came out?
quite a while. I'd have to look at Psychonauts
Wow.
1, but
So
I think it's
there
like
might
a
be a
decade, 15 years, maybe 12 years. Yeah.
okay. So there probably will be a pretty significant difference between the games and how they feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at some gameplay and it's, maybe emulated or something on PC. It would play pretty well,
Yeah.
but just know like the difference between this and like a Tinykin, this really does have a story. It has characters. It has a bit of a mystery and like some plot twists and a lot of dialogue. But again, the writing is, I think it's pretty good and um, enjoyable. Like the story is actually enjoyable. So yeah, I finally that game was way longer than I was expecting, and but I got through the whole thing and recommend. I recommend if you want that type of game. So
Sounds pretty good.
Nice. The last thing I need is more games to add to my list,
right,
but
yeah, I know, yeah,
that actually sounds really nice. I love a good 3D platformer, old school.
yeah.
I've been missing it since Tinykin, which was at the beginning of this year. So now it's closing in
Tinykin's
on a year.
so good.
I've been
Tinykin's really
missing it
good.
since
So good.
Tinykin, and I played that when it came out.
Yeah.
Tinykin might be the best one of those. I mean, it doesn't have a story or anything, but as far as just a platformer, that grinding around on that soap is just so perfect.
I'm gonna clip that out of context and just have on TikTok you saying grinding on that soap.
Grinding on that soap.
Yeah, I'll pair that with it too. And now it's in context. So
Right, yeah. Um so from Psychonauts 2, let's just I'll say let's go to Lego Party because that's one I can throw in, and I know Calvin's played a little bit of that.
All right.
Um just a party game. It's a Mario Party like, and more people need to start doing these because Mario Party's been dropping the ball since like Mario Party 8 or 6. Like they've all just been so vapid and lacking
they've gotten pretty
maps,
bad.
lacking settings. I still have yet to find a party game that checks all the boxes for me. Like we just can't seem to get it. And I want to be able to tweak all kinds of settings and make the games how, like
Just full
think of literally
control of
anything.
it.
Well, I guess not anything else because Mario Kart, you can't do it either. But like Smash Bros, you can tweak all the settings and the
Yeah.
items and the time. Like,
Yeah, you
why
can
can't
have
we
full
do these
chaos or
things?
just strict fights.
Right.
Yeah,
If there's things I don't want to do in the mini games, like let me cut those out, or
yeah.
yeah, I totally agree.
So, but I will say Lego Party does a better job than the recent Mario parties, in my opinion. It's a little, it's a little less nonsensical in its chaos. It still has plenty of chaos, but it doesn't feel like, I forget which recent Mario Party it was where there was the golden pipe, and it's just like, and it was the economy
J-
was broken. Everyone had enough
Jamboree, I
money.
think.
Everyone could buy the golden pipe, and the golden pipe immediately took you to the star. And so it was just a game about buying golden pipes and going and buying stars. Like it's just, no one thinks these things through. So Lego Party, I think, is a pretty well made like competitor. Actually, we had a lot of fun with it. Me, Calvin, and Emily played quite a few games. It has one, two, like 5 maps, and some of them have flaws as well. But they also have some really cool new ideas in the maps. Like there's this one that we really liked, where it's a space map, and there's basically like 5 floating space stations that are about 10 to 12 tiles long each. And every time you end one of the space stations, you can pick any of the other space stations to go to. So it's kind of an
Teleport
interesting
to.
map to teleport to. So it's an interesting map from that design. But then it also, at the back half of the game, a boss appears basically, and each space station like unveils its weapon to kill the boss, and it's like a new direction to go, another like 8 tiles. And then when you get to the top, if you're the first person to get to the top, you hit a button which attacks the boss, and you get a star or whatever, a golden brick. And so you're incentivized. It's almost like a team co-op. We got to kill this boss because he like eats the guy that sells you golden bricks. So you got to like attack this boss to get the golden brick guy back, but you're also incentivized because if you get to a button, you get a golden brick. So it's just kind of a cool, like, obviously you're all fighting each other. It's still a party
Very
game, but it
original.
almost
Like it feels fresh.
in that moment it feels like a raid boss, and you're all trying to
Yeah.
take this raid boss out in a party. It's just pretty cool.
That sounds fun.
Another cool element that it incorporates, or that is new and is very thematic to Lego, is all of these maps have parts that are unbuilt. And when you get to a specific tile, if you're the first person to get there, it offers you a choice between two things to build. And you get to like pick how the map
That's
fleshes
cool.
itself out and like how the
Yeah.
map finishes. So
That's fun in general, but also makes a lot of sense for Lego.
Yeah.
yeah, totally cool.
Yeah,
Is
it's
there
really
anything
cool.
else, Cal, that jumps out from Lego Party differing from like a Mario Party, or that really stood out to you?
I think just balancing wise, one thing that really stands out is the economy is a little bit like it's much easier and much more common to come across golden bricks or stars. You can rack them up a lot easier, and so it ends up being similar, but it changes the pace of the game. It's not like it's really difficult to get one and it really matters. It can kind of fluctuate and change a lot more, and maybe feels a little more dynamic, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Nice.
What would you say?
I don't know. I would say that it feels it a party game is always going to have the someone steals a star from you thing, or some of the BS. I feel like the economy is mostly good. There was one map where it was actually a really cool map we all really liked. It was a theme park map, and at the center of the map is a roundabout basically that branches off into each of the theme park sections. But the problem with that map, and maybe it's not even a full problem, but what's interesting is the golden bricks only spawn in that central area. So quite literally, if you win mini games, you could just
And
stay in
have
the center and just keep buying bricks
enough
and never
coins,
venture off into the other parts of the map. And that was a little
which are
disappointing because
interesting.
we really liked the theme park map in general, but there's not enough reason to spend like 4 turns going off into one of the theme park sections if all the bricks are in the center, you know? So it has its issues, and I wish there were more settings to tweak. But overall, the presentation is
Hmm.
really good. Like they smashed it out of the park. This is a really polished Lego experience party game. I would put it up there with Jamboree. I think it's better than Jamboree, the recent Mario Party
I
game,
I would
in my
say
opinion.
I feel like it really models itself after Mario Party quite closely. Like it does not feel like that much of an offshoot from Mario Party. It is very similar, but where it does differ and make it its own, I think it benefits from.
Yeah, and the mini games, which we haven't even touched on, and it is like the core part of a party game, are by and large really good. There's some that are kind of annoying or whatever, but like they have some really good ideas and concepts in here with the mini games, and quite a few that are Lego themed as well and make sense. Just overall a really polished, good, perhaps overlooked party like experience, because I feel like Mario Party just dominates this genre, and we
Yeah,
need we need fresh input in this genre here.
yeah.
And so I hope Lego Party sold well. I'd love to see some DLC for it later on. Um,
Another another thing that I like, because with Mario Party, anything Nintendo Mario IP like that, there's going to be a lot. Nintendo has tons of characters and a huge roster, which is always cool. You can play as, if you have the full roster, there's so many characters you can play as. But with the Lego, it's kind of cool. There's a huge roster there too, but you can also create your own character and mix and match your outfits and your design and kind of create your character that you like that's original, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, good call. I forgot to mention that. That was really cool being able to like literally you get and as you play you unlock points and you can get more Lego pieces to create more characters and you can create your own Lego character and save Lego characters and there's that customization that is definitely lacking from a Mario Party type game. So
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun with that. It'll be a staple for us for party games until Lego Party 2 or someone else maybe tries this out. Maybe a Sonic Party. Who knows?
Sonic.
I'd love to see some more. Like we just need more of
Yeah.
these. So
Yeah. I'd love a PlayStation version where you have Ratchet and Sly
Dude.
Cooper and Jackie Daxter and
honestly,
Nathan
PlayStation
Drake,
needs to
Kratos.
retry like what was it? All Stars. They need to
All-Stars,
retry
yeah.
a Smash Bros and a party game.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
now
now
they
that they
have so
have
many characters now.
Now that they have Astrobot too, like they could do like
Where they have these-
Astro's mini game bonanza.
Yeah,
DK
like a
Astro
connected
Party.
universe party game.
Yeah, they've got what they need to do that. They should.
Dude,
get
Astro
absolutely.
Party would be.
Astro Party. That's what it is, and it has all of the stuff mixed in.
Yeah.
Although, let's get rid of the villain. God, let's move on from.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect world, Levi. We're gonna that stupid alien will be in it, but
Yeah, name that alien.
Tim.
No Bowser.
Glorb.
It might be. It's something like that. It's
Glorb
pretty bad.
Senior. It's bad.
Yeah. All right, Zach. Now you tell one.
Well, I already talked about Yote because I started playing that again after like a month and a half hiatus. So not much more to say on that.
You're like, let me tell you about my 5 minutes in Yote.
Yeah. The only other game that I've been playing a little bit of is Metroid Prime 4, which came out, I don't know, last month. I'm probably 5 or 6 hours into that. And it's cool. It's not blowing my mind, but it also kind of scratches an itch that not really anything else can. Like, it is definitely a Metroid Prime game, which is good. Like, that sounds like a low bar, but it is delivering a Metroid Prime experience that feels like legitimate. And I love the original Metroid Prime games. I played the remaster earlier in the year. It's one of my favorite GameCube games, and so having a new entry in the series is pretty exciting. Some of the locations are pretty cool. The combat feels fluid and good, but it also feels like straight out of the mid 2000s, and so it's like I can't decide. It's sort of a double-edged sword. Like it is giving me such a game experience that like no other games give me right now, but they also haven't really done a whole lot to truly evolve the formula. But it's been so long since we've got a Metroid Prime game that I don't know that I need the formula to evolve too much. I think the biggest disappointments so far are that some of the graphical fidelity and the assets are just not great. At times, like sometimes this game looks pretty nice, and sometimes certain things don't.
Not where you feel like it should be.
Yeah, and it's kind of the Nintendo thing where it's like, I know you could do better than this, you just don't.
Yeah.
So that occasionally is not great.
That's surprising to hear. I from everything I've heard, that the technical performance of this game and the visual fidelity, all I've heard is praise for it. But you're saying it still looks dated in ways?
It's certain points, like, because sometimes it looks really good, but then there's this one asset in particular, like when you're in an elevator, there's like this kind of lattice of metal that kind of forms like I don't know. It's hard to describe. There's this one asset in particular that I've looked at a bunch of times because it's like in an elevator, and it looks like so flat, and like it looks like just an asset that was just like pasted right on. I don't know. Maybe it's like one thing that's throwing me off. I feel like there's a couple of points where the cracks show, and it's like, oh, that doesn't look great. But most of it looks really good. And otherwise, the performance, like the frame rate, that all has been great. It all runs well. So from that standpoint, it's good. Yeah, and the location some of the early locations are really cool. The puzzles are good. I've fought I think two bosses at this point that were both really neat. And it feels like Metroid. The one other complaint that everybody talks about is like that one soldier guy who like talks to you,
the companion or whatever.
Yeah, and he talks like a Marvel side character, like, oh no, I'm not ready to fight these guys, and that is annoying. It's as annoying as everyone says, but it's
And
also like, go ahead, Galvin.
from I haven't I mean, I've played most of the original Metroid Prime, but like to my understanding, it feels like whether despite the quality of the writing of the characters and the dialogue, it's just extremely at odds with like the vibe and the what
Yeah,
Metroid Prime
I'd agree.
should be.
Yeah, Metroid
Yeah.
games are classically a very solitary, like solitude is like one of the core
Yeah.
vibes of a Metroid game. And so I don't like this because it's antithetical to that. I will say though, he's not there for most of the game. Like you run into him here and there, and then there are certain points when he'll like talk to you on your headset, but then you go into like a new dungeon or area and it's like you lose communications again and it's back to solitude. So they managed to keep it. I haven't finished the game, but of what I played, I feel like 80% of it is still the solitude. So it's enough that like it certainly doesn't ruin the game by any stretch, but it doesn't help
Yeah.
it. Like I don't know why they did
I've
it.
heard I have heard that the blow up was a bit overblown regarding the obnoxious characters, and that there's kind of a hub, and they'll talk to you here and there, and you'll have like opening missions where you meet them and help save
Mm-hmm.
them or whatever.
Yeah.
But then after that, there are solitude moments and things, and I'm perfectly open to the fact that, or the that it could be a mix of that, because having played Metroid Prime Remastered, um, yeah, the Dead Space Zelda, like I told Calvin, it's Dead Space and Zelda mixed together, and
Oh yeah, that's kind of true.
it's so good.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to a new one. But what I loved about that game was the solitude, the
Yeah.
music, the world, being alone, being kind of tense, almost some horror like elements.
Yeah. It's a little
And so to
tense. Yeah.
throw in a zany character, it does feel like, why did we do that? But I have heard that you kind of get both. It's not like they completely lost the plot here.
Yeah.
So
I would say the core
couple,
gameplay is still that.
yeah.
So it's,
So are you playing mostly handheld or on TV, on
I've actually been
or
doing
docked?
both. I've been doing both because I took it on a work trip a couple weeks ago, played a little bit out of town, and then I have kids, so sometimes I'm like walking around doing stuff with them, and I'll occasionally play it on the handheld, and then I've also been playing it on docked on the TV here and there as well. So
So, I mean, do you have a preference visually? Does once the original Switch, you put something docked and all of a sudden it looks way worse because you're blowing it up on the TV.
yeah,
But it's supposedly it's 4K 60 on docked, and
it looks
whatever the Switch 2 can do, it's 120 FPS.
it,
Like
it
it should
looks
feel smooth, right?
it feels really smooth. It feels equally smooth on both. I feel like I haven't had any issues with performance. Visually, it looks really good on the TV as well, except for certain points. Like I said, I feel like there's just one or two assets that are common that really stick out to me. And maybe,
Mm.
yeah, so maybe it's just me, but like that
You
is
just missed a
more,
couple assets or something.
oh yeah, or maybe it's just
Weird.
stylistically, it just for some reason my brain interprets it weird. But there's a couple of assets that on the big screen they're more apparent to me. But aside from those assets, which it's not all the time, and it otherwise does look pretty good. So
Okay. My other question, I guess, to just pick your brain as the interviewer in this situation,
mhm.
um, try and pull yourself out of the World Wide Web world that we live in, and all of the preconceived ideas that we get before we get a game,
Okay,
and the ways that our perspectives are colored.
I'll
If
turn
you
off
just
my
got,
bias center.
and there you go,
There we
turn it
go.
off. Yeah, it's really easy to do. You just
What do you do?
can you imagine, like, if you just got Metroid Prime 4 in 2025, you're Switch 2, and you got Metroid Prime 4 and you booted it up, how do you feel about Metroid Prime 4? Like, away from all of the noise,
Mm.
would you be like,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah, this is cool."
yeah, I would. A bit early to say, but it feels like 8 out of 10 territory. It's good. It's good. Like, and I feel like the Metroid Prime formula still holds up pretty well, which is why the remaster is so good. Is because it's like, they upped the fidelity and stuff on some things, but like overall, the formula of Metroid is just really solid. The gameplay is smooth and feels good, and it's kind of timeless too. And it's also just very much its own vibe. And so having a new version of that, I think they've done a really good job. I have some gripes and complaints. I think there's some things that could have been a little better. They didn't really push the envelope a whole lot, but yeah, as a new person coming into it, or returning to it without any stuff, I think you're gonna have fun with it.
I mean,
I think that's where most people
that's
have their issues. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Kel.
that seems pretty similar to what I've generally heard is kind of the idea that if you enjoy the other Metroid Prime games, if you're a fan of Metroid Prime, then this is more of that, and
Yes.
Yeah.
maybe not a whole lot more.
And that is good. It's
Yeah.
just after 20 years, we all kind of
Yeah.
hoped that,
Yeah,
I heard a critique about like, in 2025, getting your double jump is just not as exciting anymore. Like
Yeah, sure.
maybe we start with the double jump and there's some other new abilities thrown in, and I could see that for sure. Like,
Yeah.
but at the
There's-
same time, it's a Metroid Prime game, and you get your double jump. So like, I also don't have an issue with that, but
I will say
it would
there
be
are
nice
some-
if they kind of pushed the envelope a little bit.
there
more,
are some
maybe.
new abilities, like it's like a psychic type
The
ability
psychic
set you
thing,
get,
yeah.
which changes it up a bit. And I haven't even gotten all of them yet, but it is definitely there's a new suite of abilities. And so I will say, I think it's been so long since our last Metroid game that it's hard not to maybe expect a foundational shift, like going from Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild, or God of War 3 to God of War 2018.
Right.
Something
or
that
even
like
Mario Odyssey.
yeah, something
Yeah.
that like fully kind of changes the foundation of something while keeping the spirit of it. Whereas this is more, it's the
Pretty
foundation from
formulaic.
yeah, it's the same foundation, but they're giving you new abilities, and you know
Right.
you have the motorcycle, and there are a variety of new
Yeah, for sure.
things. Some of the settings on the planet you're on feel pretty fresh and different from previous Metroid Prime locations. So it very much is like you're getting a new game with new stuff and new things and new abilities to explore. So it's not purely like this is a new experience, but it's not foundationally different.
Yeah. The snippets I've seen of the different locations look really, really great.
There's some pretty cool
So
ones.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'll transition there into Metroid Prime Remastered, because I actually went back to,
perfect.
it's another, I went back to some games that I had started and not finished a long time ago, and Metroid Prime Remastered was one from 2 or 3 years ago that I started, got probably about halfway through. I thought I was closer to the end, but having replayed it now, pretty long game. And I won't dwell too much on it, having just kind of discussed, because the thing is, I came out of Metroid Prime Remastered being like, for an old game, really impressive. Like,
Yeah.
it manages to escape old game is old feel by and large. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
it is timeless and just is a good game. Like, it plays well. The sense of place and atmosphere and suspense
They
is
got
all
a
there.
lot right with it.
Yeah.
They really did. And so I guess that's kind of to tie it together. It's like I came out of Metroid Prime Remastered being like, dang, really impressed for how old that game is, playing it in 2025. Really impressed. Have some issues. Cannot wait. Like, a brand new Metroid that solves a lot of these antiquated old issues would be just like incredible.
Yeah.
But then I forget it's Nintendo and they're going to keep all the issues
They're going to
from
keep
20
all the
years ago.
antiquated stuff, but it will still be more fun. Metroid.
Sure.
Those-
So that's how I came out of
Those
it,
issues
because
are integral to the game.
you're right. They are what makes Metroid.
That's the
So,
Nintendo magic.
yeah, the sense of place, the different abilities that you get, rolling around as a little ball
It's good. Yeah,
is
right.
just
There's something
good.
to
It's
that.
just a good.
Yeah.
It's just a good mechanic. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many sections where, and I've seen them in the new game too that I haven't started yet. But like in this one, where you're just like, I love the ones where you there's this little hole in the floor, and it's like
Yeah.
a translucent floor, and you like go into ball form and you like roll under the floor and avoid hazards and come out the other side.
Yeah.
to-
Or you
to
like
get
go
past
through a
somewhere.
thing in the wall and it kind of goes like to a 2D cutout and you're like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
yeah.
just good. So that's great. I will say it would be nice. The dash or dodge in Prime Remastered is not great. A little bit more movement would be nice, and that's kind of an old game thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they fixed. Do you get like a dash in Prime 4?
You do have a dash and it works a little better.
Okay.
I would still say movement's pretty similar.
Because in Prime it's like the same as your jump, and sometimes it's a jump and sometimes it's a dash, and I never
I think
really
it might
was
be
able to
this.
get that
Yeah,
sorted out.
I think it's not the same as your
Oh,
jump.
that sounds
but
about right.
I still sometimes have had issues dashing properly when trying to, but you
Doggone
get it's better. It is better than remastered. I will
Yeah.
say that, but it's the movement is similar.
All in all, my biggest complaint with Prime Remastered that I hope I don't know that they fix in 4 which 4 is built different with that central hub area and the motorcycle, which is its own complaint. But in Prime Remastered, the backtracking and the signposting is
Yeah.
atrocious. It is
Yeah, that's true.
absolutely, it is 100% atrocious. And it's one of these things where I'm playing this game. What?
It is the reason. I mean, I played the original years ago, like on
Yeah.
GameCube, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But that's the reason I never finished it back in the day, was
Yeah.
because I didn't know where to go, and I couldn't really look it up back then, or like I just
Yeah.
couldn't.
And
finish
it's almost a wonder to me that this game became a classic and as lauded as it is, because I feel like 5% of people must have finished this game back in the day. Like, there's just no way.
I feel like
There's
back in the
no
day was
way.
different though. Like we didn't have the same distractions, so this is all you do all summer, you know. And
maybe
you'd have that one friend down the street who knew how to do it, and you'd go find him.
But we also have the internet now. I just can't imagine that anywhere near the majority of people finish this game, because there are so many roadblock sections where you get a new ability and there's no way to tag things on the map. The map is not the best. It's not easy to tell where you've been or where things are or whatever. And there's no way to post like pins or be like, come back here, or what does this area look like? You have to literally remember, and you'll get a new ability and you'll be like, I don't freaking know where to go now.
I don't remember.
Like, I don't know what that unlocked.
Yeah. And it's like, you might even remember, oh, I know that there was a thing that I think this will solve, but now I'm forgetting where that was.
Yeah.
But half the time it's like, before you get the ability, you may not realize, like you said, the signposting, you'll miss the signpost, get the ability, and then just have no clue.
And it's further exacerbated by the fact that there's no fast travel in this game, which is insane. Like, again, old game problem, but even then it's just like the fact that you can't teleport from the various save points is just insane to me. This game, the world is not interconnected well enough. It's not, they try, but it is not interconnected well enough for there to be no fast travel, especially with as much as this game wants you running back and forth to places you've unlocked. And then at the end, the huge like secret fetch quest you have to go on to get all the MacGuffins to face the final boss is all over the map with like little hints, which again is cool if it's your full-time job and you're not 8 years old.
Yeah.
Or 33 years old. Like, just honestly, it's just a lot. And there were so many points where it was actually hard to even search for the solution I needed. I had to literally go to walkthroughs to watch, I had to like watch through walkthroughs of a section to try and find a situation where they got past something where I couldn't figure out where to go.
And even that wasn't always good because of all the backtracking. You wouldn't know which part of the walkthrough, and they might have gone about something a little differently. So
that's crazy.
Like, I'd find a walkthrough and start watching it, and the thing would already be unlocked that I was trying to get into, and I'm like, "Dang it! How did you unlock that previously?"
That's wild, crazy, man. That even with YouTube and the internet as we have it, that it's still that difficult to.
It was literally situations where I'm like, all right, I have this ability and this ability. Where do I go? And it's like it's hard to search that. There weren't clear answers online, so. That is my single greatest complaint with Metroid Prime, and I don't know if they answer it in 4. Is there fast travel? Sounds like no.
I don't think so. I haven't experienced it
because they went for more of a hub-based thing with like different areas.
I don't think there is.
So that's crazy. You got to have fast travel in 2025. You can't make a game without fast travel.
That type. I've heard some people say the backtracking isn't as bad in Prime 4. I don't know, but I've heard that.
Hope not.
Because I mean, as much as I liked the world and exploring, I got to the end of that game and I was like, I'm done. I do not want to find any of the extra things. I do not want to wander around this world anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't make you want to be completionist, like
not at all. It's so funny because it's the genre's named after, it's the namesake Metroid, but every other game does such a better job of, you get a new ability and you're like, oh, I want to check here, here, and here. You know where to go. In this game, I'm just like, screw it all. Like, what is the main path? How do I get where I'm supposed to go right now? But to put complaining aside, I did enjoy mostly. It's nowhere near a top 10 situation for me, but I'm glad that I played it and kind of have that where Metroid came from to now go into 4 and kind of compare and contrast. And I'm fully on board with the concept though. Like literally Dead Space, Zelda. Like
that's actually a really good description that I've never thought of, but it really is Dead Space and Zelda.
It's
Dead when you hear it like that, Zelda. It makes sense why it works.
And it's just like if they did a Mario Odyssey tier, a Breath of the Wild tier of a Metroid Prime game, it legitimately could be a top 10 game of all time for me.
Yeah.
Like if it was done really well. And I think that's the bummer is
Easily.
playing Prime. You see all these flaws. Hearing about 4, you hear that a lot of these flaws are not repaired or they've introduced new flaws. And that's the bummer is that like this concept on paper could be a Mario Odyssey tier type of game.
This could be a 10 out of 10. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the frustration is like Metroid Prime is one of my favorite games from my like early days. And it feels like it has the potential to be a top 10. And from what I've played, I don't think, this will be there.
Yeah.
I will say though, it manages to tap into the energy of what the franchise is in a way where I'm like, I'm getting what I felt as a teenager playing this. And that is still pretty special. So
that's cool.
take the good with the bad there, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Nintendo is still just getting like this concept on paper, Dead Space Zelda, has a really high floor. And Nintendo keeps getting the floor out of it, but we want to see the ceiling.
I know. Yeah.
That's kind of how it feels.
Get us to the clouds. Take us to the stars.
Nintendo, careful.
And flying us and
Floor's
dine us
cheap.
up there,
Don't fly too close to the sun.
Fly us straight into the sun.
Straight into the sun with Metroid. Well, from there, I guess let me do another old game, Reborn, brand new. I played Batman Arkham Asylum.
Ooh, I love
this
that game.
past month.
How did it hold up?
Game.
So I've never touched any of the Batman games. Calvin is a Batman connoisseur.
I guess I've played them.
He's played all the Batmans, and
He's a bad head.
He's a bad head. So I started with Arkham Asylum because it's the oldest one, and I was just I kind of intend to play these games. These what is it? Rocksteady?
Rocksteady.
That sounds right.
Them?
Yeah.
Before they imploded and are no longer the same studio anymore. But they apparently made 4 really good Batman games. So I figure at some point I'll check out all 4 of them. And I started with Arkham Asylum. I played on PC. And I got to say, on PC, as usual with old games, it's the way to go. I was able to doctor it up and get it looking real pretty in 4K
Definitely
textures.
Looked better than when I played it.
Oh, yeah.
Remastered.
I mean, honestly, for a game that's... I mean, how old is it?
That's probably 2007, 2008.
Is it that old?
I think so.
Almost 20 years old. It looked and played.
2009. It's 2009.
It looked in... So, we'll say 15. It looked and played really well on PC. I was able to add in a FOV slider, too, which was kind of one of my concerns with older games. The FOV is a little closer, and it gives me some motion sickness after a while. I was able to open up the FOV. Everything's in 4K. Everything's looking nice and sexy Batman universe. I don't think I really tweaked much else. Just got it visually looking and running really well, and really good game. I would say even more so than Metroid Prime. I'm impressed with how this game holds up in 2025. Like legitimately, if you're playing it on console or some older version where it looks and runs a little worse, I could see it being a problem. But on PC, 60 FPS, 4K, this game is just, it's timeless. I think it really is timeless.
I would agree.
It's just there.
That's a good game. Yeah.
Going around Arkham Asylum on the island, man, dude, when you're up, I love the really close. Granted, I opened up the FOV, but just like the really close third person. It's funny because this is where the cliche came from. Feels like Batman. You feel like Batman in this game, dude. You really are just like you're perched on this ledge, and you jump off and hold A, and his cape just fills the screen, and you're like flying down onto the ground. And I actually love in this game. You know how countless games do the like push R3 or do something to do like your echo or whatever to like give you your spider senses.
Right.
I actually really like that this game just has like a mode where you can just play the game in that mode.
Detective mode or whatever it is.
Yeah, just detective mode. And you find yourself playing minutes, if not entire sections in detective mode. And the game looks dope in detective mode. Like it just looks
like it
feels really good to play in that mode.
Yeah. Not to mention thematically, it makes so much sense. Like,
and,
for some games, it doesn't always make sense. Like Spider-Man makes sense, I guess. But for Batman, it's like, that's his whole thing.
It looks so cool, and I just love. They really did a good job of the Batman, the superhero, the vigilante, the fighting, and then the detective elements. It really does bring the detective elements in where you're scanning a scent or fingerprints, and then you're staying in detective mode, following them through Arkham Asylum. Even the gadgets and the upgrades you get, where he pulls out
Hmm.
his little like hacker. That thing
Yeah.
looks so cool, and the mini game you do to do it is like very simple, but it's satisfying. Every time I did it, I was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Um, there's just so many elements to that game that are awesome, and the set pieces, even the different boss fights,
Hmm.
whether it's Bane or the layer with Crocodile, where you're like
Hmm.
trying to tiptoe around on the boards,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool. Ivy, super hot villain. And then the final boss of Joker is a really cool, like, just yoked Joker on the roof. You're fighting
Yeah,
him.
that's right.
I thought the game didn't overstay its welcome too. Like, I was just having a blast. And the moment I was like, okay, maybe this game's old, maybe I'm getting bored, I was near the end of the game already.
Yeah.
So I just, and the stealth takedowns, the stealth, it's kind of probably one of the first games to do this, like maybe Metal Gear Solid, in a game like this, before like the Assassin's Creeds and stuff, where
and
you get into a room and it's a stealth puzzle, and you're
and
just trying to
I
navigate
still
around and
think
take
that
out
it
these enemies without them knowing.
more or less perfected stealth. Like other games have expanded on it and done cool things, but like its stealth is near perfect as it is.
And again, it's
Yeah,
just as Batman, it's so fitting. Like you want to be, because it's like, oh yeah, I am the knight. Like I want
hmm
to
Yeah,
it
take
just
these
feels
guys
so
out.
cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
absolutely
And
that's a
his
love.
great game.
stealth takedowns, like, and all of it feels kind of grounded and real too. Like, he's not a superhero, he's a
Yeah,
dude. And
Hmm.
so his takedowns, like, they take a second, and I don't, just all of it feels grounded and really is clicking. I don't, they
yeah.
killed it,
They
man.
they captured Batman so perfectly in that
Yeah,
game.
I
Yeah,
mean, like you said, it has become a cliche, but really, Rocksteady with the Batman games was kind of the first one to do you truly feel like this character, which is
Yeah,
really cool.
I mean, we wouldn't
And
have Spider-Man as we have
yeah,
today if it weren't for these
yeah,
it's
games.
absolutely the bones that became and inspired the
Yeah,
modern Spider-Man games.
as you're playing it,
yeah,
you
totally.
you know that this is where Insomniac got their Spider-Man from,
Yeah.
basically,
Mhm.
a lot of the gameplay and stuff. And also, I will say, the combat can feel a little one note, where you're just kind of pushing a button or whatever. But Calvin, you brought this up. It legitimately was not till halfway through the game that I realized just how intentional they want you to be with the
Hmm.
combat. They don't want you to mash the
It's not
button.
supposed to be a
They
button masher.
they want
Yeah,
you to, like, push every time you want to attack, and then be ready to counter, because anytime you push a button frivolously, you'll reset your combo meter. Like, you have to, it's much more of a deliberate attack, don't attack, counter,
hmm,
you know, dodge out of the way. It's very deliberate
More of a skill
combat.
ceiling than at
That
first
kind of
seems
makes, yeah, at first glance, it looks like you just mash a button and fight all these guys, but there's actually more going on there.
yeah.
Um,
Which also
and
makes sense
yeah,
for
just,
Bruce Wayne, just being a
yeah,
normal guy. Like he has to be careful. It's not like
yeah.
Spider-Man can get hit by a train and live. Bruce Wayne.
So
like.
boss fights
One of
were
my
fun. The Ivy boss fight was really cool. There were a
Hmm.
lot of
Yeah,
spectacle boss fights in this game. I definitely
Yeah,
won't forget the croc layer. That whole thing
the
was
yeah,
Croc
really cool.
one
yep,
definitely sticks in my mind.
yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite things about that game, we were talking about the detective mode and like the
Yeah.
X-ray vision. One of my favorite things is when you're in detective mode, like doing stealth, like you're up on a gargoyle or something, looking down on all the guys walking around, and you look at them and it shows their condition, and it shows like
Terrified or
their
whatever. Yeah.
their heart beating, they're like nervous or
Yeah.
terrified or unconscious. It's just like
Yeah.
that
So
adds to the charm.
I gotta say, it's pretty much rare. It's very rare, if never, that I play a game older than 10 years old that I come out of being like, that was actually legitimately great. Usually there's quite a few elements where you're like, that was probably great in its time and it's still good now. I think Arkham Asylum is legitimately still great.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, just the atmosphere, the characters, the writing, everything is just delivered to perfection. I feel like it is Batman. It's this horror setting where you're on the asylum with Joker, and he's orchestrated this big escape with all the baddies you want to see. Um, Killer start.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
excited to see where the other games go, but man, Asylum is
I'm
great. So
I'm so excited to hear that you enjoyed it as much as you did because I knew you would like the game, but I was unsure if you would like if you would be into it this much or have.
Yeah, you're making
more
me want to
gripes.
play it again because I never played the subsequent games, and I've heard like
Oh,
Arkham
really?
City and and I've heard there's multiple great ones. So
Yeah.
maybe
I
I'll
I
I've
gave
got them all lined up on
um
I
PC.
shouldn't sign up for this. I don't have time for it.
Yeah,
yeah
ain't nobody got time for that.
before. I'm really curious to see what Levi thinks of the rest because before he played Asylum, I gave him my list, and Asylum's my second favorite. So I'm just curious to see after
Mm.
you've played them all, like where it all lands for
We'll
you.
see. We'll see. Will oh gosh, what's the live service one they made like last year or something that was a disaster?
Oh,
Are you talking
Um,
about
was that Suicide
Kill the
Squad?
Justice League?
Suicide Squad. Will
Yeah,
will Suicide Squad be number one on the list? Stay tuned to find
Yeah.
we'll
out.
find out.
I mean, I haven't played that or Gotham Knights.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gotham Knights
Gotham
also was,
Knights.
man. They had a couple in a row that really didn't
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah.
Dang.
No, it's truly just the
They're gone. It's a sad part about studios. We come to love a studio
Yeah.
like Rocksteady, but Rocksteady's not Rocksteady anymore. They haven't been for a
Yeah.
decade.
It changes.
Those
People leave.
those people
money,
get fired. Leadership
money comes in.
changes. Yep.
Yeah.
So you got it. So basically, we have those 4 games. I don't know if and when we'll ever get another Batman
But-
game of the quality of these 4 Rocksteady games. So
And as sad as
We'll
that
see.
is, they truly nailed it with all of them. So
at least we have them.
there's
Yeah.
solace in just like those games are always going to be as good as they are.
Yeah. Okay, let me do a couple quick hitters. Some of the smaller ones that don't need a lot of time. I finished again a game I started last year or the year before and fell off of. Asterigos, Curse of the Stars, I think is the full title. But it's a AA Souls-like game that kind of looks like Phoenix Immortals Phoenix Rising art style esque. A little Pixar-y kind of, but it's very Immortals Phoenix Rising is the closest
Mhm.
conceptual looking game because it's very Greek in its
Yeah.
like world as well. But yeah, this is a AA Souls-like that came out a couple years ago, and it is just one of those where every time these come out, we're like, is this going to be really good? Is it going to be really bad? Anyways, I got around to finishing it. I will say the game is long. It's longer than I would have ever guessed. It's a very long game. But it's good and bad. Like there's some really cool places, and like it's kind of it's almost like a Liza P thing, except for not as good a quality, where like you start out and there's this little map of the city, and there's 3 sections with each kind of their own story of what's going on in each section, and you need to go do stuff in each section and do some MacGuffin hero stuff. And I assumed that's the game. Well, the map gets bigger, and then there's like 5 other areas you go to, and the map is really cool looking, and each area is pretty visually distinct. There's even a couple pretty cool boss fights. I would not put this in the category of if you're a Souls fan, you got to play this game. But if you really like Souls games and you also are just kind of into these more mid-tier experiences that exist with more of a AA studio, this one is really good. I will say the biggest flaw to me that it had, and this might not even be a flaw for most people, is just that it had a lot of story. And I personally just wasn't really here for the story. I had kind of not paid much attention halfway through the game, and then there was just so much story, and I was just kind of not there for it. So I kept skipping through it. I just wanted to see the areas, fight the enemies. But overall, really well made. Looks good. Ran good for me on PC. Steam Deck, it ran pretty good. I did use some lossless scaling to make it run smoother. But pretty good. It's a 7.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10 Souls-like experience. So it's
Cool.
really only catering to the people that are sickos for
Yeah.
Souls-likes, which
Sure.
I tend to be.
I remember
The other one is
seeing
go
you
ahead.
play like I remember seeing you play that for just a minute. So I know what it looks like, but I don't think I got to see any combat. So I'll have to look that up and see what that is.
It has I don't know what to compare it to. I guess it's not Sekiro like or Dark Souls, but like basically there are 6 weapon types. There's like dual daggers, there's a spear, there's a hammer, there's a staff, and you can equip 2 at a time. And so you're creating a build with 2 different weapons that kind of balance each other out or counter each other's
Can you like
weaknesses.
quickly switch between them?
Yeah, you can switch between quickly on the fly, and all of them have their own strengths and special skills. I ended up going with the staff and the spear because the spear's unique ability was parry. So it gave me a strong, and when you parry and counterattack, it does a lot of damage. So I like to parry. So I went with spear. And then for range and like crowd control, the staff did a ton of like, had a lot of utility in like taking enemies out from a distance or hitting multiple enemies at a time. There's different like ultimates that you can unlock. There's a huge skill tree for each weapon and stuff. And so overall it was pretty satisfying. Like I had a fun time with it. So it's nothing that either of you need to go and play, but if you're a sicko out there who wants a solid Souls like AA game, it was actually,
You know who you are.
I think it was punching above its weight in pretty much every category, honestly. So
Yeah. Nice.
that was Asterigos, and then Bro Venture, the co-op. Dude, I don't even remember what it's called. Zach, what's the full title as you look it up?
Bro Venture, the Wild Co-op.
The Wild Co-op. What a name that game has. I played this at a Steam Next Fest demo thing and really enjoyed it. It's a survivor like. It's one of those like auto battlers where your character just kind of runs around the map and you're more positioning your character and choosing upgrades than attacking. They auto attack.
Mm-hmm.
But the art style's fun. It's kind of got that 2D Paper Mario aesthetic. The characters are cool. One of the ones I played the most is like a mage frog with like robot arms coming off his back. And so just cool design and just fun. It's just a great, like, it's essentially the phone games coming, Vampire Survivor normalized this genre on like PC or Steam Deck. And there's just a dime a dozen of these now. And this one was fun. I had a good like 10 hours mindlessly running around and upgrading, and you upgrade your base and then you upgrade your characters and get more powerful, and had a fun time with it. So, yeah, those are some quick hitters. Calvin, Zach, did you have more, Zach?
No. All I
Yote-
played was a little
Yote
bit of
and,
Yote and a little bit of Metroid Prime 4.
Prime 4?
Yeah, I got some more reading done, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So
Cool. Well, let's try and round this out, Cal. Why don't you do you have one more, right?
I have two more, but for me on my end they're relatively quick, and we both played them together. So
Okay. What did we play together? What did we do?
Well, Arc Raiders. So I mean, I'm sure you want to maybe have.
Okay, I know the
me
two.
to say about
Arc Raiders is on my list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Arc Raiders, Zach?
yeah, vaguely. I haven't played it or anything. But
It's been in the news of this versus what's Bungie's new thing they're making.
Who even cares? I can't
extraction
remember.
shooter.
I can't remember.
literally
I can't remember what
either.
it's called.
But
yeah, no, Arc Raiders is the one I hear more about for sure.
Arc Raiders was nominated for one of the awards at the Game Awards, though.
I think it was nominated for. It did win.
It won.
Did
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
For
it did win.
Was it not? It was multiplayer or
Support.
I don't remember what it was. It won though, and honestly, deservedly so. So yeah, we'll jump into Arc Raiders for a minute. Me and Calvin played this for like a weekend while he was here. Jumped into it, and subsequently after that visit, it sucked me in. It's pretty much what I've been playing mostly to round out the month. I've probably put 60, 70 hours in it since he left over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I only have around 15 hours in it.
Anytime I'm chilling, that's what I've been playing. So
it's pretty good.
Really cool. I honestly feel like Helldivers was the gateway drug to the extraction shooter genre, which is a genre I do not consider myself a fan of at all. But that's also how I felt about roguelites for a long time, until I found out I was just loving roguelites left and right. And I'm wondering if the extraction shooter genre is finding its way into a more a less niche situation, with Helldivers and now with Arc Raiders, because it's just really, to me, it honestly has given me kind of like a Division 2 that's more of a pick up and play and has a good gameplay loop. I love Division 2, but it didn't have a gameplay loop that kept me playing it really or coming back to it. And this is just basically the premise of this is that it's a post-apocalypse where humanity's been driven underground because of the Ark, and the Ark are basically robots, AI above ground that now patrol, the Earth, and humanity has gone underground to a place called Speranza, which is like this safe haven for humanity. And the whole premise is you're leaving Speranza, going to the surface, procuring items and looting things, materials to bring back to Speranza and upgrade your character and help humanity survive, basically. Um, and so what it equates to is essentially you go on a mission. There are 5 different maps currently, I believe. Might be 6, but I think it's 5. And they're just different kind of locations. One's kind of a deserty location in the middle of, like, it's basically a town that's been covered in sand. And there's another location that is very much like you're in this almost like space station feeling building, and you're all completely indoors. But they've designed these robots, in such a way that there's just all different kinds of robots. Some are bigger, some are more powerful, and
Flying, crawling.
you feel very weak. It's very much where Helldivers is chaos and bullets raining from the sky and calling in your eagle. This is much more tactical. I almost said tactile. It's much more tactical and kind of slow paced. The other element that's added to this is there is a PvP VE aspect to it. So every raider that goes into the map could be friendly or could not be. And so you're kind of on edge the whole time, about the robots. You're on edge the whole time about, like, is that another person? This game is also, for me, really the first game I've ever played with proximity chat. And I already know that proximity chat's a big thing. But again, for me, this is the first time I've really played and experienced it. And it's really cool. It's really cool to just be like running through a room and see a dude and be like, hey, we good? You friendly? He's like, yeah, man, friendly. Like, there's just these dynamic interactions that happen. You don't have to be in a chat with this person. You don't have to ever talk to this person again. But it's just cool. It just adds a cool element. And so you're looting lockers, you're looting drawers, and the whole time you're like, is that a robot? Is that a tick? Ticks are these little spiders that sit on the ceiling, spider robots. Or is that a player? There's just a good tension to it. And then at the end, you're trying to get all your loot out and get out of there. And man, the enemy design is really good too. Like, the basic enemy is called a wasp or a hornet. And they're basically drones that fly around with 4 wings, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And fighting them is so cool because, you'll take a couple shots and you'll take out one of their like copters, one of their fans or whatever. What did you say, Cal?
Props,
propellers, whatever. And so then it'll have 3, and it'll kind of like tumble through the air and then recalibrate. And then continue flying with 3. And so you have to like shoot out another one, and then it'll like crash. Or there's times it's very dynamic, because there's other times where, like, it'll be close to a wall or something, and you'll shoot out one of the props, and it'll tumble and it'll hit a tree or a wall and explode immediately. So there's just a really, like, they feel really realized. These enemies are really fun to fight.
Cool.
Yeah. I've had a blast with it. You can chime in, Kel.
Yeah. I went into Arc Raiders not really knowing what it was, so I didn't have a ton of expectations. And when I found out the type of game it was, my gut reaction was, oh, this is not really for me. And I was not really feeling it. And it kind of flipped for me. It came around for me, and I realized it's a little bit of a slow burn, at least for me, where I was expecting maybe a little more, like Levi said, maybe something a little closer to Helldivers, or even just like, Destiny gameplay, like a little more quick and stuff happening constantly. Whereas Arc Raiders, a lot of the moment to moment gameplay is pretty slow and a little quiet.
Stealth,
And
quiet, yeah.
Yeah. And something that's really cool I like is that a lot of the gameplay and the tension is the fact that both Arc, the AI
robots,
enemies, as well as players, can hear sounds you make. It's very sound based, and every action you do causes sound.
This game should have been nominated for audio design. It should have won audio design going away, because literally, like, every action in this game, you're listening. Even to add to that, there is a map condition. There's different conditions on maps that can make things harder or have loot be more valuable. There's a map condition called, like, raider caches or caches that are buried basically in the ground. They're like half buried, and they're really hard to find. You would basically never find these visually. They're audible. And what happens is you'll be running around, And before I even knew what was happening, I was able to find one of these before I even kind of knew what it was. And there'll be this very low pitched, kind of undulating whining sound in the background, and with also some clicking, just like, and you'll hear it like amidst all the chaos and everything. And with the headphones on, especially, you cannot play this game without headphones, I don't think.
Yeah.
Um, the sound will, as you turn your character, it'll come in and out of one ear, and you'll be able to like exactly
Oh
triangulate what
wow.
direction it's coming from and find it. And literally within seconds, I'll find these radar caches. There have been times where like there's actually noise happening, and I'll hear like just the like 2% of this sound, and I'll be like, am I going crazy? Is my brain just making this up right now? And sure enough, I'll wander around for a second, and then it'll come in 5%, 6%, and then it'll in and out of left and right ear, and you'll find it, and you're like, there it was. I wasn't crazy.
Man.
It's just, the sound design in this game is
Yeah.
incredible and adds so much to the
It's
immersion and the tension of like every room. When you hear footsteps or you hear a locker open in another room, you're like,
yeah.
you crouch down, and you're like, am I about to have to fight for my life? What are we doing here? So
It's shockingly
it's good.
immersive, far more than I was ever expecting.
Yeah,
Um,
really cool.
but yeah, so initially, I've never really played a game quite like this, and my initial reaction was that it's not for me. I'm not really liking it, and like I said, I came to really enjoy it. It's just this kind of slow burn feeling and gameplay loop that you want to go back to every time.
Yeah,
Um, for me, though, I think the biggest things that are hangups for me and just keep me from
Calvin don't like PvP.
liking the game. I don't really love PvP. There have been a few games where I've really gotten into it, but largely
Yeah,
I don't enjoy PvP. And so the PvP in this, I'm a little torn because I do agree. You've said before that it really
without it, it would
adds
be a
a
little empty.
necessary
Yeah,
tension. And there's a necessary tension that it adds where
yeah,
you never know. If it was just the arc, it would be missing something.
yeah. It would be
Yeah,
And
missing a little
so
I could
something.
see
So
that. Yeah.
I
so
will
I
say to
agree.
people like you out there, in closing arguments for arc raiders, um, they seem to be doing something with the matchmaking that is
Mhm.
that is putting people into certain buckets. And it's been very clear because those first few days we played, as well as when I jumped back in with you later on, we were getting some hostile players, and we were
I'm
getting
just too
killed once or
aggro, I
twice.
guess.
But literally, I think once you build up kind of a habit of how you play, they
A
start to
reputation.
feel they start to I think they literally have a reputation system on how people play, and they kind of prioritize putting those similar people together because literally I've played dozens of hours solo, and I've been very friendly, and I've never really shot at anyone first, and I can count probably on one hand the amount of times I've been just killed by somebody.
Yeah.
Most people I run into are friendly and want nothing to do with me, or will like throw an item down on the ground and be like, hey man, you need this. Like, so it's kind of, it actually, in that way, I think Arc Raiders lets you play it how you want to play it. Now they could screw this up and they could change matchmaking at any point. But so
Mhm.
far for me, I think they've expertly been matchmaking people like this. And I think it's going to give the game life because, again, people
Yeah.
like you and like me who don't really want to play aggressive PvP all the time. If we were just getting ganked and, you go to extract and someone's camping and
Yeah.
they kill you, I'm not going to continue playing the game anymore. I'm going to be
Yeah.
done after a while. But when it's like 1 out of 50 people or 1 out of 30 people that are like trying to kill me and the rest are super chill and helpful, it's just enough tension to make me like pay attention, but also I'm having fun and interacting with people in a more like cooperative way. So
Yeah.
there is that.
Yeah. And then so for me, I think the two things where I think they're actually really well designed and it works for the game and they shouldn't be changed, but I just personally don't love, and it's just, whatever reason it doesn't click for me, are just in general some of the PvP. Um, Sometimes I guess the punishing nature of when you die, you lose everything you had, which again, I don't think it should change. I think it's actually good the way it is. I don't really enjoy that all the time.
Yeah.
And then
It
finally,
still has some niche elements to it,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
And then the final thing, which is not about gameplay really, it's just about there's a little bit of a clash in intention with this game for me that shouldn't really matter when it comes down to it, but it does bug me more than it should, is the fact, like you mentioned, the premise of this game is like humanity is surviving and hunkering underground and trying to work together to survive. And the whole goal is you're going up to bring resources back down, but then you're also just killing each other up there for
Yeah, the
seemingly no
PvP
reason.
actually
Like,
thematically makes no
it
sense
really
at all.
clashes with
Yeah.
thematically. And
I
again,
don't know. Have
shouldn't
you
really
met
matter.
humanity?
That's a good
we
point.
we are
Good point.
notorious for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
debunked in 2 seconds, actually. Have you met humans? Because, yeah, thematically and gameplay-wise, it doesn't make sense that there's PvP, because you would think everyone's going up to try and get resources to bring back down, but
and we're already fighting.
There you
We're
go.
already struggling
We
to
solved
fight
it.
the Ark. But
sure, yeah.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
still, I think you would absolutely have
People just
bozos.
Yeah.
rats killing each other
Yeah.
at the top for no reason. Who knows?
100%.
But
All right,
in any
let's-
case, I understand why it's so
Yeah.
good and so loved.
Dude, I've been having it really is my Helldivers of the year. It came out of nowhere, and I just have been. I'll
Cool.
continue playing it into 2026, I think, until
Well,
you know,
another
they
thing
screw it up or something.
I'm so curious to try, but it's like I don't know where I would even fit it in. But it looks
Yeah,
really
and it's
interesting,
just it's just not your bag.
no,
Yeah.
mostly
You
from
know?
a time standpoint. Like I
Yeah.
actually don't hate these kind of experiences. I'm just so bad at making time and like being able to coordinate them in a way that makes it like feasible. But
Yeah,
it
and I
looks-
will
it
say
looks pretty
it's
dope.
actually really fun playing solo. You do not need a group to play this. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
all right, let's try and round this out. We got other things to get to. I got to shout out Snake Pass. I played Snake Pass this past 2 months. A game that has been chilling on my dashboard or in my library for years at this point. And I finally got to it, and it was one that Emily liked too. She played some of it, and we kind of played it together, and she watched. But this is a platformer collectathon. Think.
Okay.
I don't know.
now
I
you're
guess I
speaking, you're
guess-
speaking my language again.
Oh yeah, we're back to Zach's language. I never played Banjo Kazooie or whatever, but think like, you know, what's the recent Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, or just these games where you're just trying to collect all the coins and all the fruits in a level. I don't know why I can't think of a good 3D platformer that is just that. Spyro, I think Spyro maybe.
Yeah, this looks.
It's kind of it harkens back to that, but the whole gimmick, the core mechanic of this game that is so unique is you are a snake and you control like a snake, and it's very weird at first. Like it's very difficult. You have to wrap yourself around things. You have to use leverage to climb things. You have to slither back and forth to advance. You can't just go in a straight line because that's not how snakes move.
Right. Okay.
So it controls very much like a snake, and they've set up all these like bamboo poles and things, and the world is built in a way where there's certain items that are hanging off a cliff, and you have to like wrap yourself around this bamboo pole and hang down and grab it and come back up without falling. They honestly just killed the mechanic. Like it's just, you'll get a couple hours into this game and you're a snake now. Like you just you learn how to move like a snake.
Become
And you
the
learn
snake.
you learn how to make sure your body weight is I can't think of the right
distributed
word, distributed
properly,
correctly, and your
Balanced.
weight is balanced correctly, and you're wrapped around things correctly, and how to move through the world. And yeah,
Sounds
it's just
really
really cool. You go through and you got to collect like the basic things you collect are these bubbles, these blue bubbles, and there's like 20 of them in a level. And then the harder things are like these 3 gems you have to find. And then there's like some secret stuff or whatever. And you're trying to 100% every level. And then there's trophies for beating every level without dying. I ended up getting the platinum in this game. This is just a freaking good time. Like if you want a platformer that kind of brings something entirely new to the table, you're not just jumping around. It's a new thought out mechanic. I don't know where the studio is or who they are, or if they're even still together. I would love a Snake Pass 2, a Snake Pass spiritual successor. Like this mechanic is good enough that there needs to be more games doing
It's
this.
Sumo Digital, which
Sumo Digital, they seem
they
I know
did
them.
Sackboy and
Oh,
Team
so
Sonic Racing.
We're never getting another Snake Pass.
Probably
basically.
not. Probably not.
Some indie dev here in Colorado needs to have played this game and be like, you know what, we're making a Snake Pass spiritual successor. So anyways, total blast. Like just really, really a gem, an indie gem of a platformer game that if you're into it,
Sounds
you'll
like a
get
ton
it
of
because
fun.
it's super fun. So can't recommend it. It's a 10 out of 10 for what it's doing. It's one of those, you know.
In the bucket.
In the bucket. Last one we played was Revenge of the Savage Planet, right, Calvin?
Yep.
And Zach, you might actually have some input on this one too, right?
Oh, you know
played
what?
some of it.
I did play a little bit of it. I played like
You're
2
selling
hours
yourself
of-
short.
I am. I did a lot. Yeah, I played an hour or two of Revenge of the Savage Planet, and I'm having a
Revenge?
good time.
The second one?
Yeah, I think I started with the second
Yeah,
one.
I put them under
Okay.
Revenge.
I mean, I haven't played the first one either, so.
Okay.
Are you playing solo? Are you playing with the girls at all?
Solo, like me and Maddie will pass the controller back and forth.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we're kind of, I guess maybe there's a bit of a theme this month in like modern games that are really hitting a classic nostalgic vibe for me. But like, this is definitely a platform shooter, Ratchet and Clank type of game. I told you that it's kind of like if Insomniac didn't become the Marvel studio and they still were making some passion projects, this kind of feels like something they would make.
Yeah.
Really zany, satirical, kind of obnoxious in your face humor, but it lands. I think it lands for
It's
me.
pretty
Like,
funny.
a lot of
I
it's
think-
really
Most of the
funny.
time.
Yeah,
Most of the
I
time,
think
yeah.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a
you'll
few
go back
points
to your
that, but yeah, most of the time.
it's a little weird sometimes, but you go back to your base and there'll be like an infomercial for like
Like an HR training video, or
that, or like a product that you'd see where it's like, buy now, or you'll get 2 for the price of 1. You'll get these,
Yeah,
but they're like
very-
super satirical and like poking fun at capitalism and just
Juice burger.
where we're headed. Juice burger. Yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff, but
Very, very capitalistic, satirical.
Yeah.
which is where Ratchet and Clank started
Yeah,
as well.
like
So
like OG Ratchet and Clank.
yeah. And then as far as the world and stuff, the creatures, it's just fun. You're running around in third person. This has great co-op. Me and Calvin played the
kicking
entire
trash
game together.
pandas.
Yeah, kicking
Yeah.
trash pandas. The animations, dude, they went hard on the animations in this game. Like, your
Animations
character
are
runs
cool.
around like with this crazy animation, and when you
My
jump,
daughter, she was like, "Why are you running like that?" I'm like, "This is just how we run."
this is how I run.
This is how I am.
The jump, when you're like, you do a double jump and you're like in the air, he does like the space. It almost is like a Star-Lord animation, like he's in space. Just, they killed the animations. There's like there's almost a creature collection element to some of the combat. Third person shooting. Metroidvania unlocks like grapples and things and jetpacks, and you end up going to like 4 different planets. And just visually, this game is really cool. It's just really
They're all
cool art
distinct
style.
and really cool different areas, and the creatures.
We had a total blast with
design
it.
is great.
And it's one of those games that co-op is not needed, but it really is. I think it's probably
works
good
really
solo,
well.
but it's also really good in co-op. So
Yeah, it is not at all like hampered by co-op. It functions very well in co-op.
yeah, we had a
and
total
then-
blast with it.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it, but just all of the abilities you get and the progression of abilities is pretty much perfect. And by the end, especially when you have all of the abilities and can chain them all together, it feels so good. I mean, it feels almost comparable to like running around in Rift Apart and your dash and your double jump, and then you have the tether and the slide.
That's true. This is the only game other than Rift Apart where I've ever seen the dash where they do the fate, like the phasic dash,
Yeah.
where like you have like multiple copies of yourself, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So definitely pulling a lot from Ratchet and Clank.
Art style
Very
is great.
satisfying.
And then the other thing is wasn't really maybe I should have been wasn't really expecting bosses, but there's some bosses in this game,
Pretty good
and
boss
every
fights.
boss was good. Like, the bosses were really cool and enjoyable and a lot of fun.
It's really harkening back to that PS2 era, but like modern, and just pretty much does its job. It's really good. Had a blast from start to finish. One of those abilities that stood out to me is you eventually get like a drone type thing that you can control.
Oh yeah.
And there's some really cool puzzles where like there's one where it had me take my drone underwater and
And
through
you
like
like
a
go
bunch of
first
tunnels.
person into this drone.
You
like,
go into the drone and you like control it. It's very Insomniac, like Spider-Bot type of thing.
Yeah.
Or
They're
the-
really
the
pulling a
hovering.
lot from Ratchet and Clank. So really fun game. Biggest demerit on this game is the performance.
Yeah.
On PS5, it has a 60 FPS mode and a 40 FPS mode, I think. I don't remember. Both of them are serviceable. Neither of them are stellar. And then on PC, even, I was really struggling to dial in some settings to get it running and looking the way that it should. The performances, they just clearly didn't have time or what budget to get this thing running the way it needed to. And that was a bummer because there were several times where we're playing this game and I'm just like, we're just having a blast. We're grinning. And I'm just like, the only thing that is holding this back a little bit is not having a smooth frame rate, you know?
Yeah.
So bear that in mind. Your mileage may vary. But yeah, you'll have to update us once you get a little bit further through it. If you do, maybe bust out the second controller and play it with maybe
I'll give that a
Maddie's,
try. Yeah.
you know, who knows? The split
Yeah,
screen works pretty good.
I'll give that a try, but I definitely plan to play more of it. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, good game.
All right, guys. You've stayed your hour. I've talked all I can about all of these games.
I think I talked longer about video games in this episode than how long I played video games.
Than how long you played them for.
December.
You're grounded from books, dude. No more books for you.
Yeah, sorry.
Books are for nerds, man. You gotta play some video games.
They are.
No more reading
Games
until you
are
finish your
for-
video games.
Cool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We have to get to our very, very important annual Game of the Year discussion. So we're going to retire this here January, about November and December podcast and move on to bigger and better things. And hopefully you'll join us here, there, and into 2026 as we continue to wander around doing this aimlessly. So thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one.